Hello, welcome to Reframing Mindset Podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity, practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. Okay, welcome back to Reframe Mindset Podcast. My name is Constant Brooks. I know this is going to be the 36th week, 95 experience. I know I said, back where I said when you reach this far, it kind of takes serious because now you can get repercussion and stuff. You can't with great power get great responsibility. So more as you rise, you're getting more responsible, and that's one of those things they learning this time as well. So what happens that for the work, due to the fact that um I was in due to the team and me as well. So I think it was mostly me. And I was not able to reach at the work on time. We got a later shift again. And one of the thing about the morning shift, the thing about morning shift, it was really hard to reach due to transportation and stuff like that. But when you reach, time does go the morning shift, you really get any it's kind of slow and such. So it kind of really goes by compared to the not later part, we're getting a lot of things. So that's the thing again about business as well. Business, you have things like as I'm, one of my guests, you know, fellow podcaster as such. She would one of her episodes she talk about dead time and lifetime. And that could relate in business as such. And when that, I guess I should have put the interview I done with her in the um in the what call it the bio. They can listen to it and such. And what happened is that what I realized is that there are times of the day where the work is slow, and then times where it's fast. So that's the thing about business and such. And the more it was slow, so it was kind of more preferable. But the thing is that to reach there, the thing as I mentioned before in one of the previous week, each business run different, and everybody's fighting for that $1. So everybody's to, you know, that's the thing about business. Everybody's finding their way to make the system theirs and make so it's like you can't. So you the customer, you you are the customer, and everybody wants your dollar. So everybody finding a way to cheat and stuff like that. And what I realize is that as the less a company may or such a type of business may not really need your dollar, or they get a like a lawyer certain thing, what they kind of become tyrannical with their poor, and that's how bad business are done are created. What that means that you know you as a business you want to serve the company your customers the best, and as you rise you want to actually make you rise through creating deliver great products and such like that. What happens is that what if you become the default product, you win, and because everybody say they love your product, then what happens is that you have less incentive to actually do better because you are the winner now and you're just on the top living and such like that, and nobody can get to you. So you become complacent and do all kind of sneaky stuff, and then because of that now, all the customers start to suffer due to your ability of being on the top, and you're not listening to anybody because you're on the top. You're just doing favoritism and all those stuff. So that's the thing with um, transportation and such or any business. When you become on the top, then you become complacent. You become tyrannical in certain cases. That's it, and that's the reason why. And that's it. That's the thing about life that you come and you criticize certain. you criticize certain things, you never understand why it's there until you're in that situation. Then you understand and be like, okay, I now understand why it's there. No, it's not the best option, maybe not the best solution, but it's understandable now given the certain fact that you're there now. And what is competition. Competition actually kind of just keep the top on the edge, make it be like, okay, I can't just sleep. If I sleep on the one night, then boom, the computer will take over, and then boom, all these computers will be lost forever. And then boom, you're back at the bottom and be like, oh my gosh. So that's the thing about com why competition is important at this age in business. And that is the good and bad. So being in the business world, the competition force like the fast paced lifestyle of business stuff, because there's a lot of competition and be like, okay, I have to do this so that we do not fail. But then you have the good side of the competition to make sure that, okay, they deliver a good product to the customer, because they know that if you deliver a bad product, the competition may come ahead and just take over, and then boom, you might not get back that lead again. And that's how the thing, that's how competition works and why it's important in business at this point. But there's a point in time we can actually coexist, but at this point in time, it's not as yet, as yet. Because as um, back to religion or stuff, in the Bible, you heard about the perfect man Jesus, and if you leave the Bible, you heard about the perfect upright man as well, Job. If you actually read that part, but we're talking about Jesus, the main one, the Son of God, and what will happen is that you heard about the life of Jesus now, 39 years, 39 years. But if you heard everyone else's story, you're 30 and 30 perfect years, and come and he give us a model. But if you listen to everybody else's story, you realize that every one of them falls short of the glory of God and of Jesus. Because what? He is the standard. He is at the top. So, you know, we are trying to emulate that, and none of us have reached that level. That's why he is the top gun. That's why so that's another way of business, looking at regional in a business sense, where every religion can compete, but the reason why God's on top, because my Jesus just came down and do his thing, and then boom, Christianity is back on top again, and he's been the the top contender for how many years, and still running. So that's so if you think about that in the business world and religion, that's why Christianity is still viable now, because Jesus came down, did his thing, and now making, as the Bible says, making intercession to us on behalf of the Father, to keep the Christianity alive. And he's been doing that so well for how many years, how many years. I was still running. So that's how it goes. That's that's the thing about business. So because of that, now I'm on a later shift now. I'm on a later shift now, so I have to actually just start work and go to. I have more chance to start go to work earlier again. But this time after, I want to actually start. I have to actually start taking it more serious now. Thing about it is that, as I said, the day offs are, you have so many things to complete. It's really hard to actually enjoy the day off or such like that. It's so many little days. Every week, I'm still trying to learn how to actually maximize on the time. But there's lots of stuff that we have to complete. Same thing as I'm recording this episode, I have some places I want to go as well, and because I'm recording the episode and other stuff that I have to do on this day off, there's other things that I'm going to do after this, and then boom, the places that I want to go on this day off to enjoy myself or such like that. I may I may be reach late. I may not get to reach up at all. So that's how packed a day off could be. And then when you're done, the day done, you have, maybe when you come home, you have stuff to do. Maybe cook dinner or such like that. And then boom, the next day you don't really have time. Just go back up to work again. So what this part of it is that you're going to when you're in the working world, you're going to actually doing this phase. As I said, we're in the 36th week. You're going to be doing this week after week after week. So every week you have every day after week you have to learn and try to find something to push you forward. So in the sense you will hear me and say and be like a week and hear me complain about the fact that I'm still not um getting to enjoy the day off or such like that. In certain sense, yes, it feel like my day off part, but I'm still getting things accomplished. It's just that what happened is that I'm not able to accomplish at the time management level that other make more experienced people will do it where they come out and a lot of people enjoy their life or stuff like that because they're day off and such. I'm not at that level as yet. I'm not at that level as yet. I'm just trying to figure out how to actually maximize the day of my time on the day off so that when the day off come, I can do basically chill or stuff like that. I'm basically reaching the start of it or such. Like iron, I'm able to at this moment I'm not going to able I just could. But if I'm able to on one of the day off, so we have 2 day off. If you're able to just iron 1 week worth of clothes in a day off, one of the day offs, you're set for that week. You're set for that week and what happens is that you start that week having a plus, and then boom, what happens is that if the next day you just iron one more clothes, or if you're able to iron six clothes for 1 week, 1 day off, you start off the week and the other week on a plus. So those are things that I'm thinking about now to actually trying to do to implement so I could actually maybe not start off this week on a plus, but start off the next week on a plus. And then it's gonna start compound, and then I will be start be ready to actually ready for all the shift because I've gone through all the shift now. So it just me to actually just maximize my day off ability so that I can maximize anytime the shift change or stuff. I'm ready for it. So that's all you have to take things up, take things and do it. Um, what else is that I reach this far where there are some new members now that have joined our team. So just like how when I passed through that phase of being a train, going to a trainer and stuff like that, I joined a team and I was new and such, and then my start was bad and not contributing to the team. I have new members on the team now, and what happens is that they come to me and ask me stuff, and then boom, I'm able to actually assist them. Because I actually put in the work for so many months. I'm able to actually assist them when the time comes, and I've been assisting them in a lot of stuff and it is rewarding. To the one I was training that she said that she was there for 1 month, or like I was there for like 9 months, and it's like telling her like, oh, one day you're going to be there, you're going to be in my position now, where boom, you have people that are coming to shadow you, and then eventually new people gonna come to you and be like, oh. I look up to you and be like, oh my god, yeah, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, yesterday I was the person that was looking up to someone. I know so cycle of life, the cycle of life. Mhm. Next thing is, yeah, because this I barely made it to this payday, and I look at this payday, I got no bonuses or nothing like that. And what happened is that because actually I did not get the full 8 hours, I did not 8 hours of the the fortnight. So for the hour 2 weeks of for the hour work week, I did not actually get the full pay. So I'm basically struggling now with I barely made it to the payday. This year I was struggling. I needed to what happened is that now my payday is on now is on Friday. And what happened was I had no I just had the money for fear on Friday on Thursday. And the thing about it that if I did not get the pay on Thursday, because what happened that the normal pay, what happened that usually they say the payday is Friday, but usually sent out by Thursday and such. So if it never got sent out by Thursday, I would basically have to just stuff it out till I went home. Boom, I tough it out throughout the work day. One of the worst thing was the lunchtime when I'm just thinking about the lunch that I'm going to buy, and then just remembering, oh my gosh, I have no money. I just basically just buy the bare minimum that the ID can buy. I was like, oh my god, that was so depressing in the work and such. I was like, yeah. I was toughing it out, and then boom, I was walking on one day. I reached a place, and I look at the page. I was able to look and see, oh, boom, the paycheck came in, so I could pull money out to actually do stuff now. And it's like, yeah, clutch gave me that the clutch, but that depressing living paycheck to paycheck. Those are things that you're gonna go through and be like, oh my gosh, it's you know those experiences are important to you to feel how living to paycheck feels, so that you say, okay, I don't want this. I don't want this feeling, bro. I don't. You don't want this feeling, bro. And mhm. So what happens is that this payday now, because it's so low, I have to be basically thinking about how I'm going to spend this money effectively, because this have to last me until the next payday, and I have a lot of expenses that I need to pay as well. So I have to be smart with it as well. And have to what I'm thinking about is um all these stuff that I'm going to implement now to actually kind of make it straight into the next payday could be effective for the long term, so that I can actually start go like I can actually start making big moves, so that regardless if I make a good payday or not, I'm starting a plus, so that okay, me can look so I can go like, okay, I can save regardless if I make a little minimum wage or not, because I'm doing this thing that I'm learning now to stretch this little pay. So regardless I get a little pay or a lot of pay, I can, because okay, I can save certain things now. Because what happens that actually I had to actually tap into the savings that I just to make it stretch. And one of the reasons why I was struggling on that payday was because I had a certain amount of money that I was saving. So I was saving and I put it in a certain bank account. But the day that I actually said I was straight to payment, I said, okay, I'm gonna carry that card with me to be like, okay, yes, I can just basically put out the money, but I forgot it. And because I forgot it now, then the the struggle came in, because I did not have that extra money. And it's like, oh, so that's the thing. As I said, life is so random and such. So all these trials and tribulations, if you hear them now, when you're in that situation, you'll be more prepared. You'll be more prepared. And such, by the time when some of you, when you listen to this, you have actually gone through a situation, but now you're gonna hear the solution and be like, okay, yes. Mhm. So that's the thing about this podcast. It's so much learning stuff. And what the next thing is also, so when I was starting the work, and I started pay and stuff, I knew that it wasn't a high pay. But the end of the training, but I had a goal. I had a goal in mind. I was starting with a positive. I was starting better than many of the person that would be starting there. Was starting, so that the pay would actually be a plus to me at that point, and and then all the other benefits now became as a plus. Or if you're listening to the podcast, you'd have learned that one of the weeks, and I was here to train talking about all this stuff that we can do with the money if you actually put in the work and get the bonuses and such like that. They'll be like, oh, you can buy a car, you can buy a house, and all this other stuff. And it's like, then if because you can get all this stuff, it's good for you to have a goal in mind, because the job is really stressing. So that when you have this goal in mind now, then you can be like, okay, yes, this is the reason why I'm working now. So even though this is stressing, when I get a pay, I can do this now and then. So that's how she was looking at it. And but then when I heard that the first time, I was like, oh my god, this lady is crazy. This lady is crazy. What all this pay gonna, So what happened is that the longer that you're there, the more you see the possibility of what the work can do if you actually put in the work. And then that crazy thought now does so not make sense, because it would make sense though, because if you weren't there long enough, you would understand. But now you understand, be like, okay. So to me, I'm still not seeing that, but I see how if I put in the work, and with my thinking of how I'm gonna spend the money, I could actually make some better moves with that as well. So that was something else. That was something else. You know. Um, so what else is uh so oh it what else is actually I got to renew the gym pass recently, so that was one of the expenses that I said that I had to pay. And then once again the health card came in handy. So I actually it came in handy because there was this dental stuff that I was when I went to the dentist that they recommend to actually get my dental health more better. And what happened was that if I bought it over the counter, I would be paying so much more. But because I had the cell card now and they were able to actually get it prescribed, the prescribed one, I got it for as low as basically a small amount of dollars, a fraction of the amount. And that's in there for another medication as well. That basically no, so the insurance stuff is really comes in handy. Really comes in handy. You know, but you have to work to actually get it. The thing about it is that you're hearing the benefits, but there's actually a bad side of it as well. As such. So I can't. The thing about the insurance, you have to pay for it, and it lives on the assumption that you're going to get sick and such like that. So the insurance line is not really a good thing to look at, but you have to. The thing about life, there's a lot of negative things. If you listen to this episode, competition, all those stuff, there are a lot of negative things. So you have to actually be aware of the negative side of it so that you can actually learn to use the positive side of it. Medication as well. When you listen to medication about this, maybe hearing all these side effects and such like that. Those are side effects if you're actually using it wrong. But if you use it right, it can actually help you solve your problem. So that's the thing about it. You have to actually think about the thing that you're using so that you can actually help you solve your problem, not make it worse. And that's something that the healthcare kind of did. It actually saved me money when I was basically struggling to make the paycheck. And now in this position now where the paycheck has to be stretched to another payday, so that really came in handy. So that's basically for this episode. It's a lot of things learned in this week and then going to the next week, a lot of struggling as well. So that's basically for this episode and to look forward for the next episode. Mm.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/cssb/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
Separating personal and business because it's one of those things of doing this work and getting employed and reaching this far and recording this episode is actually updates that I never thought of, but reaching this far and thing. What I realized that you're making the money and that's the phase. So when you listen to this episode, in the phase where you're making the money and you can do so many things with the money. But the thing about it is that your life is not some one track page where you can be like, oh, this and that. What I do, as you grow older, there's a lot of complexities in life. So you have the basic food, shelter, and clothing. You need to get a house, clothes, and stuff like that. Then you have other necessary things